On this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, we're going to revisit week 2 of these college football games in the Carolinas and kind of go back and look at predictions were made. And since the spread's out now, the betting lines, kind of go back and see what we're going to keep the same, see what we're going to change. Before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button, hit that bell notification, be notified of future videos on the Carolina Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, Charlotte Hornets, and major college sports in the Carolinas. And folks, leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. In case you haven't heard, I also have a new channel, That Carolina Guy, where we talk everything else other than sports, eating, fast food, comic books, music, TV shows, movies, you name it, we'll cover it. All right, folks, kind of really wanted to go into this and kind of see after the lines came out, and as I start reading a little bit more into some of these games, making an early prediction, especially when you're starting to look at the first week or two of the season and teams really don't have an identity yet. You can get fooled very easily. So I'll start out with the first game here. Kansas is playing Coastal Carolina Friday night. You know, I picked Coastal Carolina for a 34-20 win. But since the lines have came out those 14 points, Coastal Carolina is a 27.5 point favorite. Now, Kansas won their opening game barely, and they beat like South Dakota, which is an FCS school, and the fans stormed the field. You know, Coastal Carolina went out there and they beat a FCS school pretty handily the first week. Looked pretty good in doing so. So I'm going to change my prediction and say Coastal Carolina is going to win. Instead of 34-20, I'm going 37-16. So that gives them a 21-point edge. Now, if in doing so, if you put money on this game, I'm telling you, take Kansas with this spread. 27.5 points on the road is a lot. I think Kansas is bad and Coastal Carolina is a top 25 team. But somehow I think Kansas will play with a little bit of conviction, and I think they'll cover the point spread. Could be fooled, but I think they'll only get beat by about 21 instead of that 27.5 point spread we have on them. All right, the other game on Friday night is North Carolina A&T. I think they lost their opening game at the FCS school, and they're playing Duke. And, of course, Duke was upset at Charlotte, but they were from the FBS school, and it was a 3-point game. And I said that Duke was going to win this game 26-17. Now, there was no line I could find on this game yet, but prognosticators were giving Duke a 48-10 win, and that averages out to be a 38-point victory. So I am changing my score. I'm still picking Duke for the win, but instead of a 9-point win, I'm going with 17 points, 31-14. So if that's the case, if you can find anybody to bet, pick North Carolina A&T with the points, if you can get a spread. Because, like I said, prognosticators, a 38-point win, if you can find someone to bet that game and they'll give you like 35 or more points, take A&T in that game. But now, if they're just going to give you double digits like 10 or 15, you're going to have to take Duke. Now, here's the interesting game, and I was really fooled by the lines. South Carolina, and they played a FCS school the first week and won. Pretty impressive, but, you know, Eastern Illinois is not a lot. East Carolina played a very good Appalachian State team in Charlotte and beat double digits, but it could have been closer at times than what the score showed on the scoreboard. And I picked South Carolina to go into Greenville and win this game 31-19, a 12-point win. Well, the lines have opened, folks, and they're bouncing back and forth. They have South Carolina favored by 2 on the road, and they've got East Carolina favored by 4 at home. So either way you go with it, that score 31-19 South Carolina, they won't cover that spread. Now, even though some people are picking East Carolina with a 4-point edge, you get 3 points for the home team. That's a 1-point win at their neutral site. I just don't see East Carolina winning, but I will change my score. Instead of 31-19, I say South Carolina will win this game in Greenville 27-23 for a 4-point win. So if that's the case, if they're only giving 2 for South Carolina or giving 4 points for East Carolina, there's 27-23. I take South Carolina with the points because I think they're going to win by at least 4 points. It's going to be a close contest, though. All right, Norfolk State's playing Wake Forest on Saturday. And I put Wake Forest for a 38-7 win. Now, I'm not really finding a line, but the ones I have found, the couple that I have seen that are not reliable, has Wake Forest as a 36-point favorite in this game. And the average score is 39-3. Well, I'll stick with my 38-7 Wake Forest win, which is only 31 points. So if you can find somebody take a line with 39 points or 36 points for Wake, take Norfolk State with the points, because I don't think Wake will beat them. They'll beat them pretty well in the 30s, but I don't think they'll beat them by more than 36 points. South Carolina State at Clemson. Now, here's a game I think Clemson can really shellac South Carolina State. They're going to be pretty upset because of their loss to Georgia. And South Carolina State, I think they could have won, but I think they lost their opening game, whatever they played the first week in FCS. Now, there's no line in this game, but for a couple prognosticators that aren't reliable, they've got Clemson winning 52-0. I'm sticking to the 45-7, 38-point win by Clemson. So take South Carolina. If you find anybody to gamble and give you 52, take South Carolina State. I know Clemson's going to kill them. I still think they're only going to beat them by about 38. But if you can find somebody who'll give you 45 or more, take South Carolina State with the points. Now, here's one where I changed the team. Gardner Webb at Charlotte. Gardner Webb played their first week. They're an FCS school. And they lost a very close game, 30-26, to FBS Georgia Southern in the Sun Belt. And they played some good games. And remember, Georgia Southern has won FCS championships before. And I said Gardner Webb was going to upset Charlotte. Charlotte upset Duke the first week at home by 3. But I had Gardner Webb beating Charlotte 28-26 in Charlotte, because I thought Duke would be looking too far ahead and be celebrating from the win at Duke. I looked at the lines and I really had to think about it, folks, because they have Charlotte as a 21-point favorite in this game. So it made me change my prediction with that much of a line. And I do have Charlotte winning now instead of losing. Another reason why I think they need to win is because with this conference realignment, Charlotte can play well or get on a roll. And the market they're in, upcoming, a Conference USA school, there's some outside talk. They could be moving up to the American Athletic Conference and playing the likes of East Carolina and Tulsa and Temple and Memphis. Now, there's some other schools that may be ahead of them, like UAB or Marshall, even Old Dominion. But it's something worth talking about, especially if they can get on a hot streak, win some games, start developing that program. They could be in the mix to talk later on for expansion and move up. But right now, I'm going to say Charlotte's going to win 28-20, an 8-point win. Now, since it's a 28-point spread for Charlotte, take Gardner Webb with the points, though. I don't think Charlotte's going to win by more than 21. I think they'll win, but it's going to be a hard-fought, close game. All right, Appalachian State and Miami. I picked Appalachian State to win this game in Miami 27-26. And I know Miami took a beating. App State got a win in Charlotte against East Carolina. The prognosticators have it as a 9-point Miami, Florida favorite. I think I'll stick with my predictor score and team. I think Appalachian State's going to squeak one out 27-26. So if they're going to keep the 9 points, by all means, even if Appalachian State loses, folks, take the 9 points and pick Appalachian State, because even if they lose, I think it's going to be a one-score ball game. NC State versus Mississippi State. I had NC State winning this game 31-21. NC State opens as a 2.5-point favorite at Mississippi State. Mississippi State won their first game. I think it was Louisiana Tech. They struggled some. NC State shell-shocked their first week. They won their first game pretty handily. And I've got NC State winning this game. I won't change the score. I think it'll be 31-21, a 10-point win. And if that's the case, being that NC State's a 2.5-point favorite in this game, I'm saying take the points with NC State. If they're favored by 2.5, I think they're going to win by 3 or more. And finally, Georgia State's coming into play University of North Carolina. University of North Carolina coming off that disappointing loss at Virginia Tech. We knew it's going to be a tough game. I picked Carolina to win this game against Georgia State 30-6. And I'm pretty spot on before I saw the predictions, since it's a 24-point win. Prognosticators have a 25.5-point Carolina win. So I wasn't far off. So I'm sticking by the score, saying Carolina's going to win by 24, 30-6. But if that's the case, take Georgia State with the points, because I think they will at least cover the 25.5 deficit they're going to be underdogs on. Okay, folks, what do you think about this video? Who do you have as an upset special this week? Who do you have maybe that you think will win, but they won't cover the spread? Who do you have that definitely will win big and cover the spread? Leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. Pound that like button. Hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos like this on college sports in North and South Carolina. And by all means, folks, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. I will see you on another episode. Carolina Sports Guy.